Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. Hi, I'm Susan. I'm here today by myself without Randy and Mike Donley. They are out chasing history on a pickup trip somewhere out in the Midwest, and we are sharing the best moments from our video podcast, the Donley Auctions Unfiltered. I don't like how my inflection was off. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. Hi, I'm Susan. I'm here today by myself. Randy and Mike Donley are both out on a pickup chasing history. And today we are going to be sharing the best moments from our video podcast, the Donley Auctions Unfiltered podcast. We handle a lot of rare items, but this next one, well, you literally can't find it anymore. In our most recent episode, we discussed the sale of a taxidermy passenger pigeon, a bird that has been extinct since 1914. It sold to a National Geographic photographer working on the photo art project. Listen to why this bird is so important.
I'm here with Joel, who was at the last auction, was the purchaser of this beautiful passenger pigeon here.
I'm a National Geographic photographer who's doing the photo arc project called the Photo Arc, which is a big project to document biodiversity.
Tell me what interests you.
When I was a child, my parents got me a lot of nature books. And one of them was a book on the birds, and they had a chapter on extinct birds. And the passenger pigeon was in there, a big picture of Martha, the very last passenger pigeon. That species went extinct when she died at the Cincinnati Zoo in 1914.
September 1st.
There you go. Perfect. You've done your homework.
We have.
So the passenger pigeon is a big deal because there were billions of them. Mm-hmm. And they got market hunted down to just her remaining. And it was such a tragedy. And I've kind of devoted my life to documenting endangered species, all species really anymore. But I'm really, I really want to try to prevent extinction. And there's no North American animal more iconic of species extinction than the passenger pigeon. So they don't come up for sale very often. And I just thought it'd be I don't know. I mean, like the rarer something is, the more I'm interested in it. And I really, really want to use, I photograph animals that have gone extinct for my photo arc project. Okay. And so I'm just really interested in trying to teach people about extinction and how it doesn't need to go that way. If we can just set some habitat aside, we can save most of the animals that are on the ropes today.
Crazy question.
Yeah.
With all the cloning and everything today, would it be possible to bring them?
They are working on that now. There's a project called the De-Extinction Project, and they are working on basically breeding band-tailed pigeons and combining it with this bird to get a modern version of a passenger pigeon. But the passenger pigeon was really unique in that they nested and migrated and fed in giant groups. And by giant, I mean flocks that would block the sun for 3 days at a time, flying 60 miles an hour. Some of the flocks numbered over 1 billion birds, Audubon guessed. So that was really a part of their strategy. Overwhelm the predators. There's so many of them that, the few hawks and owls in their way would maybe kill one or two, but the majority would survive. So it was a good strategy for them. And I don't know, a bird like that could not exist today in that kind of volume. So I don't know. I mean, they made good pets in a way. A lot of people had them, but they never got together and bred them. So they eventually went extinct. But if they're working on breeding the Tasmanian tiger or woolly mammoth. There's a few that they're trying to bring back. And, a lot of people would say, well, why not spend that money on something that's actually still with us, but needs funding to save habitat? Why not do that? And that's a good point. We don't want the public to think we can bring back anything that goes extinct, because we're only going to bring back the stuff that really pays money. Mm-hmm.
But you're not doing a Jurassic Park.
No. If it pays money, if it pays, it stays. But the bottom line is that if they brought back the passenger pigeon or the Tasmanian tiger, I'd be the first in line to see it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know about what'll happen, but I do know that these birds don't come up for sale very often, and so here I am.
We were talking about the hunting aspect of it with these giant flocks. I mean, they were using like a punt gun, they were called, weren't they? Large bore shotguns. They would just drop 20, 30 birds at a crack.
Cannons packed full of salt, rock salt. They would have a stool pigeon, a bird that was tied by the feet, and they would circle it on a stick. they could literally take switches and sticks and bat them down and out of the air. And the other thing they did that was particularly bad is in the nesting colonies, they would nest together. They would cut the trees down before the babies had fledged and get those birds down, or set the woods on fire. And as the birds fell out of the trees, pick them up and pack them in barrels full of salt and ship them to Philadelphia and New York to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was pennies a bird, if that. They were just really not thought of as anything other than plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
And we exhausted them really quickly once the telegraph came out, because we could tell each other where the big flocks were.
Mm-hmm.
We could tell each other where the flocks were, and people would just go there and annihilate them.
Wow.
So we're really an adaptive species that's pretty smart about that. But I'm afraid as we drive other species to extinction, it could happen to us too. Like, you notice all the insects are going away.
Mm-hmm.
That's really going to bite us. We really have to have insects to survive, for pollination,
Well,
things like that.
and
So,
just low birth rates too.
yeah,
you know.
So you really have to watch you can't kill off everything else but think that we'll be okay. I don't
Mhm.
think it'll work that way.
No, it's all an ecosystem. It all works together.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So
It really makes you think about what we leave behind, doesn't it? Now we're going to switch gears from preserving nature to preserving sound. Before streaming, before vinyl, and even before wax cylinder records, there was tinfoil. In this next clip from a recent podcast, Randy and I talk about the holy grail of audio collectors, the Edison tinfoil phonograph. This is technology from the 1870s, and finding one is almost as rare as finding that passenger pigeon. Listen to us geek out on how this machine actually worked.
I can't show this enough. Tinfoil phonograph doesn't get any rarer.
It's
Now,
pretty amazing, yeah.
Think about this. Think about this. Before Edison invented this machine right here, there was no such thing as pre-recorded sound. In any way, shape, or form, if you wanted to listen to music, somebody had to perform live, a musical instrument, or sing, or something
Orchestra
live.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, there was no such thing as pre-recorded sound. We couldn't have radios. We couldn't have television. We couldn't have our cell phones. This
Can you imagine?
had to come first in 1877. This is the
real deal.
beginning
It's the real
of
deal, folks.
technology.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing that it's here right
there's
now.
a handful of these left in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and we're so proud to be auctioning this quality of merchandise at Donley Auctions.
Coming up in a future auction next year, 2026.
That's right.
All right, so stay tuned. Watch our website, donleyauctions.com, for more information. From rare technology to notorious history, Chicago has a lot of history, some good, some bad. In a recent podcast episode, our guest, Dr. Mike, talks about a cylinder record that sent chills down our spines. It was the confession of H.H. Holmes, the serial killer from the 1893 World's Fair.
Hi, I'm here with Mike Panchalian right now. He's in from California working on the record collection that's coming up in July. We have the complete collection, phonographs and records, from Alan Kenigsberg and from New York. And we're right now going over records. Mike is listening to everything, making sure that he's identifying some rare pieces. And I don't know if Mike can hear me.
I can't hear a thing.
Good. If you could take your earbud out for just a minute.
Well, hello.
Mike, tell me, have you found anything rare in this collection?
Oh, there's some one-of-a-kind items here. You don't want to miss them.
Wow.
Take a look and show up for the auction in July and be surprised.
Now, a lot of the brown wax, Mike, the early brown wax looks discolored, but it seems to me that you're actually able to play it even though it has that corroded surface.
Some of them are playable, at least enough so that you can recognize the song and the history behind it. In some cases, no, but we'll try to explain what's what here.
So amongst some of the rare records that you found, it's my understanding that what I'm holding right now is the confession the confession from H.H. Holmes,
Yes.
who was the notorious serial murderer from the
Yeah.
White City, which was 1893 World's Fair.
Yeah. Now, the text of that confession, and that was made just before he went to his death, actually, right before. And there are recordings that were actually made of him at that time. And there were also, of course, recordings made of other elocutionists repeating what he said. But even though this record is largely unplayable in places, I have yet to look. The complete text is inside, comes with it.
Incredible rarity, because H.H. Holmes actually had to sit in front of a phonograph much like this and speak into the phonograph for this to even take place.
Yeah, right before he was killed, right?
Wow.
Right
Wow.
before.
Rare. And Mike, for those of us who might be more novice about phonograph records, again, the pink cylinders, known as pink Lamberts, they're still pretty scarce, aren't they?
They are very scarce. You have some of the earlier ones here, and then some of the later ones. They were made from 1900 to 1905 by a competitor to Thomas Edison, and they used celluloid and had gotten in a patent before Edison to use celluloid on records. And Edison was stubborn and didn't want to buy the use of that patent all the way until 1912 when he finally gave in.
Wow.
So he was putting out wax all that time.
Wow. And
Yeah.
in the meantime, Lambert was making records, and
Yeah, right here in Chicago.
incredible.
Mhm.
Again, you talk about Chicago history, we have it. All this came to us from New York, one of the biggest collectors in the world.
Yeah.
Actually, Alan Kenigsberg, he passed away in June.
Yep.
And we're selling off his collection this coming July. We'll be announcing the date on one of our future podcasts. Mike, I want to thank you for coming and helping
Thank you.
with the identification of all these rare cylinders. We
Thank
couldn't do it without you, buddy.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Always enjoy working with you guys.
A great ticker tape. These are always popular. This is
Yeah.
something that my brother, who's not here yet, my brother and I always are looking for ticker tape machines. We started finding ticker tape machines back when my father wanted one, when I was probably about 10 years old. And we went to the city of Chicago because we heard a scrap yard had just taken in a pile of ticker tape machines, and they were selling it off. They took them in because of all the brass inside of it. And when we got to the Goodman Salvage Company in Chicago, there was a pile, I swear, taller than my dad. My dad's 6 foot tall, just piled, one on top of another. And the price was $25 a piece. Take one or all. There was no discount if you took more. They were $25 a piece. And of course, my father rummaged through and picked one.
Out of all those.
Today they sell for, I don't know, $10,000 to $15,000 a piece, depending on the day.
Wouldn't that look great in someone's
yeah.
office?
So all you had to
Definitely,
do is
great
make
item.
one investment, and you would have been done.
Yeah.
Oh, well. You know, here's an interesting automobile. This is
Yeah, what
kind
can you
of
tell us about this?
very interesting to talk about, because overseas, and I don't know that they still do this, but years ago in Germany, when you got a driver's license, you had to know all about an automobile, how it worked. They didn't just let you on the road. So they would actually train you. You'd have to take a test. This is a training vehicle to show you how the engine works, how the mechanics works and everything. You had to know about your vehicle before you could get a driver's license back in the day. So these training instructional vehicles from the 1950s are very highly collectible right now.
Did you have a simulator in school to learn how to drive?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we had one of those too. They don't do that anymore.
You know, years ago, I have to say, the simulator was invented by somebody right here in Illinois, the training simulator. And we had the first training simulator years ago. It actually
I
went
didn't know
through this
that.
auction house.
That's a great story. Look at this malt mixer.
Pretty neat.
I
Pretty
think
neat.
we should actually try it out.
You know,
Make some malts for the auction.
The multi-mixer is how McDonald's got started. Everybody's familiar
Yep.
with that
If
story?
you've seen the movie, The Founder, I think it's called, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Great
That's how we got
movie.
started. He had these in the trunk of his car
Yeah.
that he was selling.
And that's how he found the McDonald brothers in California. They were making
Yes.
so many malts.
Yes.
And they were ordering machine after machine after machine. And he said, who could need so many malt machines? What are they doing?
What are
And
they
he went
doing?
out to see
Yeah.
the McDonald brothers. And of course,
The rest is history. Randy shares a much lighter Chicago story, how his mom actually knew Ty Warner before he created Beanie Babies.
here, Susan is sitting on one of the saddles that actually used to be in front of the bar, in front of the saloon at Clayton's Saloon, where we sold more sarsaparilla in this state than anybody else. And a few other little interesting facts about Wild West Town is that Wild West Town actually purchased more pyrite than anybody else in the United States at the time when we were operating the Wild West Town. And we actually sold more toy guns in Illinois than anybody else. We were selling Paris guns, and we were second only in sales of toy guns to Disney. So yeah, we sold a lot of toy guns back in the day. And a few other little interesting facts. Everybody's familiar with Beanie Babies, and you all know my mom was a Beanie Baby distributor, but she actually knew Ty Warner, the creator of Beanie Babies. Do you remember that, Susan? She knew Ty Warner because Ty Warner actually called on her when he worked for a different company. Before he started the Beanie Baby company, he was a salesman for a different plush toy company and would call on my mother. So she actually knew a Mr. Warner before he became famous and rich with the Beanie Baby craze. And of course, she loved having her Beanie Baby franchise. So we sold a lot of them here back at Wild West Town. So that's all gone. We're all Donley Auctions here now at the Wild West Town, but we're still selling off part of the collection. Only at Donley Auctions can you go from H.H. Holmes to Beanie Babies in 5 minutes. Now, to close out the show, we're going to pivot to pure nostalgia. If you grew up in northern Illinois, you might remember Donley's Wild West Town. We recently had former employee Joey O'Brien on the podcast to spill the secrets on the stunt shows and the gold mine. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Randy Donley, and of course I'm here at the old Wild West Town, and how perfect, because we're going to go into the yard right now. The old gates coming from the restaurant on in, and the place is right now closed for years and abandoned, so to speak, and we're selling off the contents of the old Wild West Town. So here we go. Wait a minute. What do we have here? What a surprise. Who is this?
Howdy, folks.
Joey O'Brien. My God. He's still here.
I've never left. I truly have never left.
Joey O'Brien is here today to help us talk about all, the old memories of the Wild West Town and everything. Now, Joey, when I met you, you came here with your father, who was a reenactor in our World War II days and Civil War, and you were 5 years old.
If even that.
Maybe not even. And so for years and years, I've known Joey most of his life.
I always joked as your father when I was a little kid that, oh, Mr. Donley, one of these days I'm going to come work here. And he said, you come see me when you're old enough, and I got a job waiting for you. And I did. The day I turned 16 and had a car, I came down here and he hired me. I've been here for forever.
Well, you used to work in the territorial jail, I know that,
Yep.
and you would arrest people and everything. How many years did you work here?
On and off about 8 years in the park.
Good memories?
Absolutely. But some of my longest friends are from kids I worked with here, or still talk to them to this day.
You're still friends with
Yep.
them? Lifelong memories. And I can't tell you, folks, how many people actually met here and got married meeting here and everything else. So there was a lot of weddings and what we would call museum kids born.
Yeah, that's
because
very
of
true.
meeting at the Wild West town.
Very, very
And,
true.
This is the outfit that you wore.
This
And
is-
what character did you portray
Basically,
here?
it was a retired cavalry officer, or recently discharged cavalryman that didn't have the money for other clothes, so he kept wearing his uniform.
Let's take a walk around. It's so strange to see the park closed because, of course, this was such a fun, exciting park back in its day. We do every now and then have some people sniffing around that say they want to reopen the park, and it is available, folks. If you want to open up a small theme park, it's 24 acres, zone commercial, everything you could possibly want. Look at, here's the old carousel that is on its way to Gobert's right down the road, who has a pumpkin patch farm. You used to work at the blacksmith
I did.
too. I remember Joey pounding out horseshoes. We would put your name stamped into a horseshoe, doing it on an anvil, heating it over the old forge and everything. And the clinking sound of an anvil was so cool. So here's the remaining set of the Wild West town. You used to seat 450 people in here per show.
3 times a day.
Were you one of the actors who would do the high falls?
Yes, I was outlaw number 2.
We're walking down right now to the old gold mine, which was one of the most popular attractions here at Wild West Town. That and the train, of course. The train is still here. Train is still available for sale. It's the original train from the Brookfield Zoo. And from the Brookfield Zoo, it went to Rockton, to the Wagon Wheel Resort. From the Wagon Wheel to Donley's Wild West Town. And Joey, I gotta believe you worked a lot down here.
I did. You got to work with so many little kids. The kids were always so happy. You could do the trick of, oh, hey, look behind their ear with the gold, piece of gold. Or, if you saw one little kid who was just having too much trouble, you'd just kind of do the little pocket trick with some gold up your sleeve, and you'd kind of sprinkle it in a spot and then go, oh, hey, Mom, why don't you have them look over here? Do anything you can to make their day better. Make that magic for them.
And when I worked here, I had another trick. I had a stone in one hand and a really big piece of pyrite in the other. And I'd say, anybody care for a piece of gold? And I'd close my hand and I'd throw the other hand and the stone would go plopping in the water. Everybody'd go running and scrambling trying to find the big piece of gold, but still in my hand. It's all a memory now. We're going to have more auctions, not just one. This will take 3, 4, 5 auctions to sell off all the contents from the Wild West town.
I think I still have some of that fool's gold from the Wild West town in a drawer somewhere. That brings back so many memories with my girls. And that is really the magic of what we do here at Donley Auctions. Whether it's a rare bird, a serial killer's confession, or a childhood souvenir, we are in the business of saving stories. Now, you've heard us talk about some incredible finds today. You might be sitting there listening to this and thinking, hey, I have something like that in my basement, or my parents left me an entire collection like that. If that's you, we want to talk. The market is incredibly strong right now, and we are actively hunting for specific items for our upcoming auctions. We're looking for military items, things like flight jackets, helmets, swords, and war trophies brought back by our veterans. We also have a massive following for firearms, from antique muskets to modern collectibles. Maybe you have a safe full of coins and currency, or perhaps some fine jewelry and luxury watches that you don't wear anymore. We have buyers clamoring for items like that. We're also looking for sports memorabilia, vintage advertising like neon signs and gas pumps, and the really fun stuff like coin-operated machines, slot machines, jukeboxes, things like that. And honestly, we love the unusual, high-quality taxidermy, medical antiques, and those weird things that make you ask, what is that? Don't let these things get sold for pennies at a garage sale. Consign them with us. We handle everything from the photography to the marketing to the shipping. If you have a massive collection that feels overwhelming, let us handle it for you. We'll take that small or large collection, and as we like to say, we'll make it fit in your wallet. Send us some photos of what you have. You can email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. That's consign, CONSIGN, at donleyauctions.com. Or you can give us a call at 815-923-7000. Finally, if you enjoyed these clips, please go to our YouTube channel right now, search for Donley Auctions Unfiltered, and hit that subscribe button. You'll get to see the items we talked about today, watch the full interviews, and of course, see Tucker the auction dog running the show. All of us will be back in the studio next Sunday at 10 a.m. on WLS 890 AM. Keep hunting for those treasures. Until then, I'm Susan, and we'll see you at the auction.